Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to tackle the steps before your immigrant visa interview at the U.S. Embassy in Manila, Philippines. Our source for this presentation is travel.state.gov. So if you are like me who is waiting on their NOA 2 and is just familiarizing themselves with the steps that we need to take before our interview, well, let's check this material out, and I will be sharing with you the general steps, which is composed of the following. First is completing your pre-interview checklist. Second is scheduling the medical exam in the Philippines. Third is register your delivery address online. And lastly, we're going to review some interview guidelines. So without further ado, let's get on to the steps. Step 1 is completing your pre-interview checklist. It is important that you bring all required original documents to your interview. Please, we should print this checklist and bring it to the interview along with all the listed documents. So first is a copy of your NVC, or National Visa Center interview letter. While this does not apply to diversity visa, fiancé, adoptive, or asylee/refugee applicants. Second is a valid passport, which is valid for 6 months beyond your intended date of entry to the United States. Third is the confirmation page from the form DS-260 application for immigrant visa that you submitted online at cac.state.gov/cac. Fourth is your original birth certificate and an English translation if applicable. This birth certificate should be coming from the Philippine Statistics Authority, the central repository of the Philippine civil documents. And if born outside the Philippines, you must bring the birth certificate from the country of birth. Original birth certificates of the accompanying children of the principal applicant is also required. If you are 16 years of age or older, the original police certificate from your country of current residence and countries of previous residence are required. So note that the Embassy of the Philippines requires a Philippine police certificate known as the National Bureau of Investigation, NBI clearance, that is valid for 1 year from the date it was obtained. You should get a record clearance for travel purposes from the NBI as well, and you may request the NBI to directly submit your clearance to the United States Embassy. The applicant should request an NBI clearance with an AKA, including the applicant's maiden name, birth certificate, name, maiden name, and any aliases or nicknames used, including different spellings that may appear on your other documents. Police clearance from other countries. Applicants who stayed for 1 year or more upon reaching the age of 16 years are required to obtain a police certificate. Country-specific information on how to secure foreign police certificates is available at travel.state.gov. So, if you have served in any country's military records with English translation is required. And for applicants who fall into the category immediate relative and family-based visa applications like CR1, IR1, CR2, IR2, IR5, F1, F2A, F2B, F3, and F4, the appropriate Form 1864 or Affidavit of Support for each financial sponsor, along with a photocopy of the sponsor's most recent IRS transcript or most recent tax return and any relevant W-2S if the transcript is unavailable. Second would be the proof of your petitioner's status and domicile in the United States, which is the photocopy of his passport, his or her passport, naturalization certificate, or lawful permanent resident card. Evidence of the relationship between the petitioner and the visa applicant, such as photographs, letters, or emails, should be presented as well. And if you are single, 18 years and older, a SENOMAR or a certificate of no marriage from the PSA is required. Now, if you are married, your original marriage certificate and an English translation is required. And still, should be obtained from the PSA. And if celebrated in the Philippines, bring an advisory on marriage obtained from the PSA. If you were previously married, provide proof of termination of previous marriages. These are your certificate of no marriage from the PSA indicating the annulment or the termination of marriage, and your original divorce or annulment slash presumptive death court records and or death certificate from the country where the celebration or occurrence took place with English translation if required. That is step 1. So that was a mouthful. Daghan kaayo. Now we go to step 2, scheduling our medical examination in the Philippines. As soon as you receive your appointment date, you must schedule a medical exam in the Philippines. It is the immigrants visa applicants' obligation to or responsibility to schedule a medical exam with St. Luke's Medical Center extension clinics 2 weeks before your visa interview. At the U.S. Embassy, medical examination results from other physicians will not be accepted, and prior to your visit, you are very much encouraged to register online with St. Luke's Medical Center. So registering online will save processing time and make your visit to St. Luke's faster and more efficient. So now no walk-ins are allowed, so you must really register at slec.ph. Now this is the address of the clinic. We have the items to bring during the medical exam. First is your visa interview letter. Second is your passport. Third is the 3 recently taken passport-sized color photograph and a copy of your immunization records and your DS 260 confirmation page. All medical examination fees, including x-rays and blood test fees, must be paid directly to St. Luke's Medical Center. We should refer to St. Luke's Medical Center website for more information regarding the medical examination fees. Now, during the medical exam, this will include a medical history review, physical examination, chest x-ray, and blood tests for applicants 15 years of age or older. The United States also requires tuberculosis testing for all applicants 2 years of age and older, and gonorrhea testing for all applicants 15 years of age and older. Please be prepared to discuss your medical history, medications you are taking, and current treatments you are undergoing. More information on this is available on the CDC webpage. U.S. immigration law requires immigrant visa applicants to obtain certain vaccinations prior to the issuance of a visa. Current immigrant visa vaccination requirements are available on the CDC webpage, and you can also read frequently asked questions about the medical examination requirements online. Now, after the medical exam, when it is completed, the doctor will provide you with your examination results in a sealed envelope or send them directly to the U.S. consulate. If given an envelope to carry to your interview, do not open this envelope. Instead, bring it to your visa interview. Any x-rays taken will be given to you. You do not need to bring x-rays to your visa interview unless you suffer from tuberculosis. However, you must carry the x-rays with you when you travel to the United States for the first time. The medical report must be less than 6 months old when you enter the United States as an immigrant. In some cases, St. Luke's Medical Center will direct the applicant to engage in subsequent testing, requiring rescheduling of the original visa appointment. You must follow the guidance from the medical provider and will not be admitted if this is the case. So St. Luke's Medical Center does have the authority to provide this guidance to applicants. Following this guidance and not appearing for your interview is the correct course of action and will not adversely affect your visa case. Okay, step number 3, that would be to register your delivery address online. Registering your address provides them with the information they need to return your passport to you after your interview. So just click here to go to the link. And if you want to cancel or reschedule your visa interview date, you will also be able to do so after you register your delivery address. Okay, step 4 will be reviewing the interview guidelines. This is very necessary because this is kind of super important. But first, we talk about rescheduling or canceling your interview. Failure to bring all required documents could lead to significant delays to getting a visa. So applicants who cannot complete the required documents or documents checklist, or who know beforehand that they are unable to keep their appointment, should reschedule. And you may reschedule by visiting their website online, and there is no cost to reschedule your visa interview appointment. There is no cost to reschedule your visa interview appointment. Definitely, there is no cost to that. So, say for example that you are at the U.S. Embassy already for your interview, they'll first do a security screening procedures. For the safety and security of all applicants and employees, visa applicants cannot bring cell phones or other electronic devices inside the embassy. Make arrangements to leave your electronic equipment in a safe location off embassy grounds during your interview appointment. To avoid delaying your entry, that of those in line behind you, please bring only what is required for your interview. In order to ensure the safety of these items, we encourage you to leave them at home and do not rely on third parties who charge to retain these items. The embassy has no mechanism or location to hold or safeguard items, and therefore it is not affiliated with individuals who offer these services. Third is accompanying persons. Attorneys are not permitted to accompany clients into the waiting room or to their interview. The following persons may accompany a visa applicant to their interview. Applicants may bring one interpreter if they do not speak English or Filipino well enough for an interview. And applicants may bring one person to help if they are elderly, disabled, or a minor child. Immigrant visa fees. If you have not paid all required fees to either the National Visa Center or via the appointment website, please be prepared to pay these fees on the day of your interview. All fees may be paid in either US dollars or the Philippine peso equivalent. They would accept cash and credit cards only. And please note that if you are found ineligible to receive a visa, application fee cannot be refunded. And important, do not make travel plans outside of the Philippines. If your visa is approved, we will keep your passport at the embassy while we prepare your immigration packet and print a visa for your passport. They will return your passport to you later via courier services only. If you have to travel within the Philippines while your passport is still with the US Embassy, please make sure that you have a valid picture or ID other than your passport. Register your passport for return delivery before your interview. As explained earlier, before the interview, we must register our delivery address. I've already provided the link earlier today, but I'm going to link that in the description. So, what happens after your visa interview? That will be in a separate video. So, just a recap. The steps are okay, that's a lot of steps. Okay, there are 4 major steps to this. First is completing your checklist. So we have created our pre-interview checklist. Second is scheduling a medical exam at St. Luke's Medical Extension Clinic, UN's Extension Clinic. And then important that prior the interview, you register your delivery address online. This is the place where they will return to you your passport after, given that you have been approved and it's already stamped with your visa and your packet and all that. So it's important that you register your delivery address. And lastly, of course, before going to the interview, we must review the interview guidelines, such as like bringing all the documents that we prepared in the pre-interview checklist. No gadgets or cell phones whatsoever allowed at the embassy. And then you cannot also bring an attorney or anyone for that matter, except if you need an interpreter and if you are a minor or a person with disability. So, yeah, that's it. I just suggest for everyone to really keep on reviewing the checklist, or if not reviewing, you just need to be familiar with what is required from you and your petitioner once you receive your NOA2, and the steps to do before your interview, because there's a lot of steps on there. And yeah, it wouldn't hurt to study now and be fully aware of what you're about to take on for this entire immigrant visa journey. So that is it, I guess, for this video. Up next, we will be talking about what happens after our visa interview. For now, thank you for watching, and then stay tuned for more. Stay sane, kind, and confident. Thank you, everyone, and good luck.